Welcome to the RPG Blender, where we give lesser played games or forgotten settings the roll the dice they deserve. I'm your host, Game Master George, thrilled to welcome you to the next chapter in our adventure. Our heroes have found the lair of death deep below Nechara. To what ends will the hunt for Pluton drive them? Find out as we explore a new land of power and ancient secrets in Exalted, Darkened Clouds.
So you're saying take the time, which could be as long as a day or a week, maybe longer, to do the ritual.
I didn't know.
You don't want me to try this wall. The magics you guys are suggesting are ones I've never done before.
All right,
and also will be in creating right now.
A week is too long,
Lantern
Mountain.
light.
I have to sleep in my bed tonight, honestly.
Go ahead.
Just hold.
I got your belt.
Please.
I got your belt.
And he'll go towards the wall of voidy goop.
Make it forget about Pluton.
and basically attempt to sever Pluton from, I guess, the manse. Hey, George, we're off script here, my dude.
Could give us a high-low, George.
You did this to us.
You attempt it on the wall. As your blade cuts in, you're attempting to remove memory of the manse, yes? Of Pluton.
Really, Pluton from the manse, to try and, like, the idea being,
eventually
if Pluton ceases to be within the magics of it, in theory, that which is anchoring it, if it loses its conceptualization, its connection, its whatever, if the sword even works that way, in theory, its power source would not be connected to it anymore because it wouldn't know how to find it.
Okay. I will need your memory excising strike gambit roll.
Sure.
That sounds like a name of one of the moves in this
It
system.
does.
That's what it is.
Memory excising strike gambit.
Memory excising gambit.
I've never rolled this before. I don't know how to roll this.
Go ahead and give me your melee attack roll.
And Dirham sort of just squares up, takes his standard pose, his standard fighting stance with his diclave, and channels just a bit of his power into the blade, theorizing another tactic, which is our solar selves might have some sort of effect to this. Only putting one mode in because this is a crazy place where we're not regenerating, but nonetheless, we'll see what happens. So
You're not regenerating. Just make sure we get that 100% straight. Thank you.
Are you gonna jump us out of this hole?
Yeah, you got that ritual? You got that ritual in your back pocket, buddy?
No, I'm just. I touched the wall. I touched the wall real good. That's my contribution.
You sure did, my friend. You sure.
And
did.
Uba is very well destroying that table.
Oh yes,
scratching it up with his little monkey paws.
I hope he writes like Uba was here or something.
With
monkey.
WUZ.
Yes, exactly. So when fucking he comes back, he's like, "What the fuck happened to my house?
My only table."
Pluton sucks with an X.
Yes.
I got a 5.
Okay, you got a 5. As the blade strikes the wall, you're attempting to excise memories of Pluton. As the blade strikes, you can feel that it does seem to be severing something. You can feel that resistance and then the snap as it hits and then cuts through the memory. And then it happens again and again and again and again and again as your blade travels through this wall. And as it goes, you can see a very pale white scar that traces the path that you cut through.
Well, that's cool.
At which point, after you finish the strike, that pale scar continues writhing with the movement of this wall, breaking apart into different little cuts throughout, which eventually are separated, pulled throughout this wall, some deeper into it, until eventually they're separated and scattered throughout this place.
Okay.
Well, you made the wall look like a Dalmatian. That's pretty cool.
Question is whether or not the actual technique did it, or was it?
Did it do anything? Did you feel like he was severed in some capacity, or was this all just for a cool redecoration? I mean, I'm for it. I mean,
It felt
but
like
make sure you smear some patterns that look kind of like that on the table. We got to make sure it's all aesthetically at least matching.
It had an impact. I felt it definitely severing, but several times.
As if you are cutting his memories, or as if you are cutting someone else's?
It might be that there's not simply one thread woven within the mats. It's very strong magic. It's a place of power. The fact that it's stifling my own energies just being here. This thing is probably greater than just one person's mind. It's a culmination of power from a person of power. I could keep trying, but I don't know if it will have a lasting effect. It kind of looks like it's already distributed the damage.
Probably is not worth much more of our time. I think we should get back to the task at hand and make sure that we deal with him when we find him, once we have perhaps a bit more support.
Yes, this darkness and Pluton seem to be afraid of us. Both Pluton's master and himself are very weak to be in his place of power and still hide from us.
Well said. So, just, I guess, take your stabby things and be ready to jump and climb up the wall, you know.
I have one more idea.
I'm all for it.
Yes, go right ahead.
We can try at least 5 more ideas before I want to jump on.
Mountain.
Wait, 5? Really? 5 more? Uber, come. I go over to Uber. We have to come up with 4 more plans.
All right, I'm just listening to Zero.
Mountain.
Sorry.
Would you be so kind as to pull out the lance?
What?
And he
Lance.
waits for Smiling Mountain to pull out the dire lance, which when we were testing out our weapons, one of the things that this was doing was waiting to hunt a person.
Oh, yeah.
And Darren will say,
Wait, didn't this make a storm?
No.
Okay, cool. Just making sure it wasn't that one.
that one was the Reaper Diclave, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that's correct.
If we utilize this, to what extent I'm uncertain, but this weapon is keen on hunting a particular target.
Pluton doesn't go by Pluton anymore. That might be the hard part. We don't know what he calls himself now. Unless we just need to picture the person.
I was going to say, I mean, we know what he looks like. We've had a taste of what he's like
That's
now.
true. What's the worst? You empower it, it asks for a name, you give it a face, and it says, give me a name, and turn it back off.
Exactly.
I hand it to you because I can't use weapons.
George, quick question for you, though. I know that it takes personal motes to attune. Do you need to have the personal?
It does not take personal motes to attune. You can use personal or peripheral.
Oh, do you need motes active, or does it remove?
Just removes from the top, right?
From your total.
You also need to spend it.
Damn.
So
it reduces your current by that number as well as your maximum.
So how many motes is it to attune to this thing?
5.
Well, if I attune, I'm going to start glowing.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well, holds the dire lance out between Adramalik and Mountain. Who's up?
I'm terrible at holding spears. Awfully long and pointy. Terribly unbalanced, honestly. I mean...
You only need to hold it until we find him.
Assuming it helps finding. But we'll give it a shot, and I'll take it.
I mean, I have met him in person, so shouldn't be too hard.
I tossed the lance to Mountain.
I mean, if actually you would rather, you're probably better at using this than I am.
I mean, you've also met him in person, I assume, yes?
No, I mean, like, actually using it. So here's the thing, is that this, and I hold up the lance, probably has a bit of a... What is it called?
Hunger?
Yeah, it is going to want to be used. And I think that if we want to keep it happy, you will probably have to use this lance against Pluton.
Oh, I'd be more than happy to do that.
All right. Well, I can't do that. That's what I'm saying. If you want to, please do.
All right. Well, hand it over. All right. What do I add to my inventory, George?
You add a moon silver dire lance.
Moon silver dire lance. And what's the accuracy and damage on this bad boy?
The accuracy is +1.
Okay, so
damage
not very accurate.
+14.
Oh my god, very damaging. Okay.
+0 defense and overwhelming 5.
Oh wow, very nice. And you said +1 defense?
+0 defense.
0 defense. Defense 0. Okay, cool. All right. And I spend 5 of my peripheral. I love my peripheral modes though.
You only
you'll start glowing
as an audience.
He doesn't care.
Glowing.
This is his place.
Yeah, I'll spend 5 personal motes. All right, so that gets reduced again. Oh my god, my peripheral is going down a lot.
Personal?
My personal's going down a lot, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do it for now. Unless you really like it, then I guess you have to keep it.
All right, I have attuned to the dire lance.
Okay, you
and as I
attune
do
to the dire lance. You have the sensation that it exults in the chase. It wants to hunt things. It is begging for you to find a trail so it can claim its quarry.
And do I tell it what its quarry is?
No, you have to find its trail, and then...
Okay, so
once you have the trail that you're following, you get +1 accuracy and +1 overwhelming at a base against the target.
Nice.
There are other
Okay.
abilities that you can gain, other evocations, which will upgrade it further. But for now, that is what you get. If you successfully make a roll to follow their tracks, lure them out of a place of safety, or catch them in a trap, literal or figurative, then you gain that bonus because you can name them your quarry.
Doesn't do anything to help us in this situation.
So I need to find. I communicate to Smiling Mountain and Dirham. It hungers for the chase. You're right, but there's nothing to chase. I need the trail. Where were the tracks? They were upstairs again.
Oh, they were here.
He found footsteps over
I
there.
found some that left as well, but the smell brought us here. I just don't know where he is or how to access him in this place.
The tracks, just to clarify, were coming, not going.
Oh, which is worse. So he is definitely here somewhere. I just don't know how to get to him. I can assume this is where he will leave as well, but the other problem is that he can exude himself out into the universe. It seems like he can hop bodies, so even if he was here, he could still be doing damage somewhere else, which is the real issue that we have here.
Right, and if he's a limp puppet in the
right.
wall, we're not going to be able to find him because it's not like he's going to give us any notification.
You're right. All right, I have other ideas.
If you both want, I can begin a ritual to get us out of here, or if you want to try and jump us out, you can try that too.
No, I try mundane thing first, and then we can leave.
Very well.
And I start smashing the ground up.
What?
I start smashing the ground up. Like I start making rubble and cobblestone. Like I'm just punching the ground, making rubble. Not in
I
one
didn't go
spot. I'm making
down.
a bunch of rubble, but it's very loud. It should be very shaking. But yeah, I'm just making a big pothole with rubble, and then I move around and I make more. So that way, until I have a good collection of stones.
Okay. I think the ground was earth, not stone.
Oh, was it?
Yes, it was fertile.
Dirt.
Remember, it was fertile ground.
Oh, right. Okay. So you know what? I do the same thing, but I'm just looking for stones. So I kind of just make big potholes to find rocks and stuff within it.
Sure. Okay.
Or I'll just
You
dig up big things and
You start digging up big things to make a pile in the middle of the room. Okay. You're getting hard at work at that. While Mountain is doing that, what is anybody else doing? Anybody else have any other actions?
Adramalik and Uba have brainstormed another way of finding Pluton. They're using grapes to sort of like create like a food pile, right? Like maybe he's hungry. He hasn't eaten in a long time. And they
Every
just
now
sort
and
of
then Uba's like reaching out, stealing a grape and eating it. And
Yep. And so they're just sitting cross-legged at like, you know, the side of the room away from where everything's being torn up. And they are just watching this grape pile.
While
one
sorry.
moment, please. Adramalik, give me a perception. Give me a perception awareness.
Okay.
I know you're so good at this.
All right. So as I'm staring there, eyes focused on this pile of grapes, begins to flit around. I'm like, well, he could come from any direction. And I begin to sort of broaden my senses, taking in all of the darkness around me, you know, really digging deep in there. I will probably spend 5 peripheral motes on this.
Okay.
That doesn't make me glow, does it? I have to
5
spend
peripheral will make you.
does make you glow.
Okay, so I have to spend 4 then. I'm going to spend 4.
Got it.
All right.
Learning. He's learning.
Spending 4. Okay. And I will roll. Do I get any stuntage?
You can have a dot stunt. Yep.
Okay, so it's 11 dice.
he doesn't want us to conclude. He's giving 1 dot.
All right, that's a 7. That's actually not bad. That's not
That's
bad.
not bad at all. Adramalik. All right. Dirham and Mountain. Would you kindly remove your headphones momentarily?
You got it.
Oh, wow, we're having one of these moments.
You feel a familiar presence from beyond this room that you're within. That coldness that you felt, you remember feeling that similar coldness emanating from Uba when you were within the realm of the Mask of Winters. And you feel that similar pull, the similar energy of your Dark Master coming from within a nearby wall. Okay, you can all come back now.
Okay. Adramalik will sort of stand up, unbeckoned, and begin moving with purpose towards a specific spot of the dark wall of tentacles and whatever. And assuming nobody does anything, he will again put his hands in to move into this dark space.
Dirham will just draw both Dragon's Eye Wand and Dieclave and watch him very cautiously.
I gather up my pile of rocks, ready to enact my plan of listening for walls on the other side of the gross stuff. And then I probably look over and see Adramalik doing that. Oh, all right, you're doing something.
Yeah, is he doing that of his own volition?
What do you mean?
He was defacing a table and all of a sudden turned to a wall and started going towards it with
Let's roll.
tentacles. What?
Oh, the dark ooze, whatever the darkness is.
The riding darkness.
The riding darkness.
Yeah, I got a botch on my intelligence roll of a whole 2, so I'm like, no, he's just trying to help. Good job, Abdramalik. I just give you a big
Thank
thumbs
you.
up.
Yeah, here's the rope if you want to do anything with it. I don't care, whatever. And
Grab the rope. Please grab the rope.
I keep going.
Okay, I'll grab the rope. And
I botched, so like I'm just kind of like, you're really babying him, and like I'll slowly make my way over to the
We're
rope.
in a pit. What do you mean babying? And he'll drop both of his weapons to his side and grab the rope.
I will keep pushing forward until I reach
I'm gonna pick up your weapons.
what I'm
and
feeling on the other side.
Okay, you keep pushing forward.
Yes, until my whole body is probably submerged, as I'm sure you want.
Your whole body is indeed submerged. Eventually, yes, you do push all the way within. Once you are fully within it, you feel that coldness begin to seep into you, and then it begins to feel more normal, like your body has adjusted to this cold. Meanwhile, you keep walking forward. Mountain and Dirham, you can keep sight of him for a few feet, less than your fire went before he vanishes into the darkness of this wall.
all right, well now I'll hold the rope.
Thanks, Mountain. Thank you for showing up.
Okay. From your perspective, the rope keeps pulling from your hand as he walks presumably further in. I will take perception awarenesses from all of you.
Oh boy.
God.
This feels like an ambush.
I'm not even going to stunt for this because
not
I'm
an
surrounded
ambush.
by darkness. I don't think there's anything I could do to increase my awareness of what's happening other than the sensation
Jesus
of hot and
Christ.
cold that I'm experiencing.
I got 7 out of 7 dice. I had 1 failure and 1 10.
Good, because I got 1.
I got a 3.
Okay.
And it's 7 plus, right? That's the success.
7+ is a success. Yes.
Yeah. I'm just making sure.
All right. Dirham, you're focused. Your companion just literally walked into a wall of writhing darkness. There's nothing that could possibly be more important to focus on than that. Yeah. Okay. We'll go to Adramalik next. If the others could remove their headphones momentarily. Thank you. Adramalik, as you walk into the shadow, you walk for a decent amount of time before a figure begins to coalesce in front of you. And you can see from the darkness what looks like the outline of the Mask of Winters. And on the ground beside him, you can see what looks like a gigantic lizard skull. And then you just hear a voice booming in your head. Leave.
Oh, that's what we were trying to do. We were looking for Pluton, and we couldn't find him. He's the agent of destruction you sent me after. That's what I was told to do. Well, how do we leave? We don't know how. We're trying to figure out a way out of here. Also, we're looking for that weird skull thing. That's my friend.
You no longer have your companion.
My companion? You mean Uba, or do you mean Dirham and Mountain?
The one I summoned you with previously. Have you lost
yes.
my gift?
No. He's still with me. I sort of like dissipate him and call him whenever I need. I mean, he went on a walk, so I mean, I'm sure he's around town.
The one you
What?
seek is gone. I have intercepted his charge, but the one you seek has left this place.
So he's gone.
He hunts the next prize.
The next prize, as in he's left Nechara, and he's on to the next one of these cities. Shit! Okay, thank you. I will go now, and we will deal with that.
See that you do not fail me.
No, would not dream of it. Not in a million years. Thank you again for the gift. I will use it because I have to travel now. It's very good. And I will slowly, like backwards, kind of stepping through the ooze to get back to my friends.
Okay. Meanwhile, the others can put their headphones back on. Meanwhile, you guys outside. Adramalik, you can remove your headphones now. Yep, your turn for that. Mountain, As you are holding this, you see a shadow out of the corner of your eye. Something which appears to be probably descending down the hole in your direction. Shadow growing slightly larger, though not quickly.
I tap Dirham to alert him to the intent, like to alert him.
Looks up.
I like hold my finger on my lips and I just point at it. I pretend not to see it, but I'm keeping like just kind of a close like eye on it, but I'm keeping a very firm hand on the rope.
With whatever lantern light we have, is that giving enough that Dirham can, via his keen sight technique, take in
Someone
the picture
riding a
of
cloud on
what
down?
it is? Yeah.
Yes, yes, it is. And as you look up the hole, you do indeed see a cloud descending down this hole.
Dirham will say, out of the side of his mouth, the cloud has descended.
At which point, Adramalik begins backing up, and you feel the rope growing slack as he is heading towards you through the wall. And as he emerges from the wall, indeed, the cloud, do you do anything as the cloud grows closer?
As long as it's going slack and everything, and I can now at this point, I'll probably turn because Mountain is not a very guile-ish person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Dirham will keep one hand on the rope just in case, and scoop or put his hand out, because I think you picked up my weapons.
Yeah, I would have given them back to you, so I'll just hand them back to you.
Cool. And just keeps Dragon's wand at the ready.
Okay. Then as Adramalik penetrates the wall once more, walking backwards out from this dark place, you see the bottom of the cloud break from that hole and begin to descend into this room, upon which you see two individuals. One, a fairly intellectual looking fellow in blue robes, which, Dirham, you recognize as the person that you had seen at the library, and also on that one side street when you were leaving the city. And Mountain, the other individual, is a very tall, statuesque woman, one Tepet Tillis, which you had met previously.
Tepet Tillis is the giant.
The giant who was working with the bartender. Which point, Adramalik, you can return. At which point, Adramalik, you emerge from the wall and turn to see the cloud descending into the room, upon which ride two individuals, one very large and one not so large.
Hey, finally, some help.
Hello there. We fell down a hole. Thank you for showing up.
I mean, we went down the hole. We didn't fall
Shh,
down
they
the
don't
hole.
need to know that.
I mean, they do. We're hunting a monster. I feel like it's pretty important.
We did see you jump down the hole.
Yeah, we did jump down the hole.
I
Okay.
was on his back when he jumped down, so I really just fell. I had no control over it.
I hold up my hand. Well, I'm sure more excuses pour out, but I'm like not holding up to stop him because I've learned you can't.
Yeah,
But more
I'm
just
still
to show
going.
I'm just, my attention is with them. Do you know anything about this place? We're trying to find the creature that resides within.
They look around.
Oh, he's gone.
What?
That's what I wanted to say. I felt this energy and his essence. It's gone. He's at the next city. One of the on the map. I mean, he's gone to another place.
Are you good at lying? How bad are you lying? Because that's a me thing.
Manipulation. Manipulation.
Is
Present.
it like convict? Isn't there like
Manipulation socialized, sure.
yeah, right? Because
Okay,
he's like
yeah.
lying.
All right, manipulation, socialize. So as I do this, I very convincingly.
You can't just say.
What are you talking about? That sounds like one
convincingly,
stunt at least.
Like I'm like, the map that we have. We all have a map. We should look at the map. I don't know the neighboring cities. I'm not familiar with the area, And I try and lie and pass it off that I was referring to just looking at a map and not a specific map that had markings on it that was in this room, which I did not say. I did not say anything about this room.
You can give me a 1-dot stunt. You can get a 1-dot stunt. You're not going to give it to me. You can have it.
You've done it.
You've done
Thank
it.
you.
It is yours.
That's pretty accurate. That seems fairly accurate.
How'd you do?
Yep. Second botch of the session.
Honestly, with what he said, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It really
I
does.
mean, honestly, everything that has happened to me so far this session with my botches, I'm totally on board with. It's all 100.
But in combat, you're gonna
character.
just rock it, man.
In combat, I don't roll 3 dice. that's
Okay.
the distinction. Oh boy. Okay.
The
Yeah.
smaller man in the blue robes looks at you. if we are going to catch whatever this creature is, perhaps lying is not the best tact to take. We should pool our resources, yes?
Agreed.
I agree.
Well, who are you? I don't even know who you are. Why would I trust you with my sources?
Pulls out the map, waves them over.
They descend on their cloud. The cloud looks like it's sinking a little more than it probably should be, what with the darkness around and also the giant woman atop it. And once she steps down, it kind of bounces up a little bit more.
Living that giant life.
And the man does not descend from it entirely. Instead, he sits on it and is kind of making room for you all around the table, going above it instead.
Oh, also sorry about the table. And the table is completely covered in like juices of various fruits and like
maybe don't
like,
use the table. We
vegetables.
use the floor.
And there's definitely monkey feces that have been sort of like smeared
just
around.
the floor.
Ink is spilled and written in different like slurs and like curses, and Uba was here and like
Darum just holds the map. He just holds it open.
Good call.
And he goes, there are locations of interest that were marked here. And if what my associate here says, he's already on the move towards another city of importance. And he reveals it and highlights the 4 places of interest. Chanos, Fandam, Gethamane, and Gem.
The one was Randam.
Randam.
Yeah.
Randam.
Randam. That's so random. Cool. Yeah. And he points them all out.
That was good.
Do you know which of these places he's likely heading to?
Darum will, I guess, reflect on the 4 places of interest and think if there's anything between what he knows about Pluton and any of his motivations whatsoever, if any of these would be more pertinent than any other.
Okay. Yeah, you can have I'll give you a 2-dot stunt.
That's very generous.
It's more for the whole buildup of this thing.
Fair. So intelligence,
lore.
lore.
Intelligence, lore.
6.
6. Okay.
That's not bad.
Judging from these locations, it is most likely that he would not be heading directly toward the one on the Blessed Isle, because that one is most likely the most heavily guarded. If he is going to be hunting something there, he would probably want to build up strength and would need a fairly significant plan in order to do so. Meanwhile, the one to the north is fairly close to where you killed him, so it's not really certain if he would want to be going back there so soon. This makes the other 2 locations, Gem and
Randam,
to be the most likely locations to go to. Randan is much further, because it is on the opposite side of creation, which leads to Gem as the most likely answer. It is not necessarily correct, because you don't know the exact method by which he's traveling. There may be something weird there, but it is the one that seems the most logical.
It would be between Randan and Gem.
Okay. And do you know what of significance is at any of these places?
No, though I believe that the individual here is responsible for the losses that have taken place in this town and most of the commotion.
I see. Well, someone in a place like this, I'm not terribly surprised that they would be out for something unpleasant. Yes.
Agreed.
Ajamak looks around and she's like, a place like this? Like, what are you talking about? He doesn't say anything, but he kind of looks incredulous.
From our dealings of being similar to these, they seem to thrive in a destructive manner.
You have dealt with beings like this before?
In the final sense, yes. And I make that meaning pretty well known, I assume. I go like, make like a crunching fist.
And what can you tell us about this?
Very fast.
Very strong.
And they draw upon darkness to empower them. They are at home in places, well, this is the first time seeing a place like this, but also necropolises and places of death.
But also no match for us. As long as we find this creature, if all of us are together, I have no doubt that we can vanquish it.
Well, also true. We eventually may meet our match, I would rather, and I gesture toward the others. If other people have fighting chance.
Yeah, how many people does that cloud cover?
This I can carry one other with myself.
So you can get us out of here, right?
Slowly, but yes.
Perfect.
If he can lift me up, I can get you all out.
No. The weight of more than one of you would surely prevent it from lifting.
So we just do a couple trips, right? Up and down, up and down. Uber's very light. I can
try and get us out. We can follow behind. It'll be fun. Or at the very least, I can go up to the hole, put the rope down. You guys climb up to me, and I climb the rest of the way.
I don't know if a 50-foot rope is going to cover 6 range bands, 7 range.
Only 3.
bands.
It's only 3. I just have to get to the hole.
No, the hole is only 1 up, but
so there you go. It's only 1.
The darkness, the tube of darkness.
Oh, there's a tube. The darkness. The tube. The dark.
This whole place was lined with it.
All right. Then I will. Sure, I can go first.
Why don't we get out of here? This is not a place of safety.
I would definitely agree with that.
If you want to leave anything as a mean thing too, by all means, if you have to go to the bathroom, that corner over there is lovely.
Or we could go, or we could just we could go.
That
I'm just
seems
saying,
a bit unnecessary.
I mean, we're gonna have to wait in turns, as we're elevatoring this sort of thing. I just made that word up, by the way. It's a fun word. I mean, it's going up and down.
Why don't we get moving? I didn't catch your name. You are
Naman Jabnor.
Do you have any kind of things on him? Symbols, badges, anything that would describe him as obviously an Immaculate Order member? Stuff.
No, aside from flying on a cloud and being with somebody that you know is an Immaculate Order
member of the Immaculate Order.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the fake lady.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm remembering now.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest clue.
That's true. We don't know if she has elemental powers. But
True,
he
or if she's
does.
just a
strong lady.
As we saw back when I fought the werewolf guy, sometimes being big, that's just enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it really is.
So shall we begin? This is going to take a little while, so
yes, sooner than later, if you'd be so kind.
My large friend, you're coming first, yes?
Yes.
Right. I'm sorry, I don't remember your names. I don't believe we've met properly. So, what are your names again?
Mountain.
Dirham.
Adramalik.
Ooh, I specifically gave him Mountain and not Smiling Mountain because it's more common. So, but that's fine. You don't know that. I'm like, oh no.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. All right.
Craig knows what he's doing.
No, I know you do, but it's Mountain. I'm like, oh, bleh.
All right, Mountain. Yes, a fitting name. Yes. Shall we?
Let's.
Okay. He leaves Tepet down at the bottom with you, and Mountain, he begins bringing you up slowly up the path. This is your moment to talk in private with him or with the other person if you choose to. Otherwise, we will fast forward to when you're all up top. Unless you have any plans. I don't know what your plans are.
Gonna steal your cloud, GTA cloud.
Yeah. Andromalik definitely urinates in the urination corner. And with all the potholes and everything, this place is sufficiently trashed. He's actually deeply proud of himself.
You can give me a perception socialize.
Nice.
Anyone who would like to, that is down in the lower chamber.
I don't have any socialize. That's just 3. Okay, let's roll this.
Oh no! You guys have made it almost this entire time without any botches.
No, I botched twice already.
No, he means until this session.
Until this
you
session.
guys. Yeah.
Okay. So what did you get, Adramalik?
I got a 2 out of 3.
Okay. All right. Tepet Tillis appears to be watching you, but you don't get anything in particular. Dirham, she's watching closely.
Okay. Dirham will talk to her as soon as he notices that she's doing that and say, so I'm assuming if you were following us, you didn't find any other activity amongst the city?
No.
Okay. And Dirham gets silent and just stares off.
And she is all too comfortable in silence, and she returns to her silence.
Not all giants are chatterboxes. That's what you learned. Stop profiling.
Yep. Okay. So Mountain, you're brought up to the top, unless you choose to do anything along the way.
No.
Okay. Then he ushers you off and then begins heading back down. Okay. Before long, the cloud descends again. So who is next?
I can go, but you probably shouldn't leave me alone with Mountain up there. There's actually a fun riddle where you have a duck and a wolf, and he starts talking about just nonsense.
So Dirham gets on, I'm sure.
I'll go next.
Yeah.
Okay. Dirham gets on the cloud, and the cloud begins rising. Okay.
Don't forget to bring him back down so you can bring me back up.
Anything in particular during the ride?
No, I don't think I have anything. The real question I wanted was with her, and she told me what I wanted to know. So
okay.
the well is dry on their end.
Okay. You rise up to the top. You see Mountain standing there. Did Mountain go anywhere?
No, I'm just waiting. I was probably close to the hole because that way if I heard any commotion, I was going to jump back down and get ready to bust skulls. That's why I didn't want to be down for them to leave me in the hole.
Yep. Okay. Then he gets up to the top, brings you to the side so that you can climb off, and then he heads back down. You're quite welcome. Yes. Heads back down. So I suppose you're next.
Yes, of course. Now, you said you can only carry one person. Does that mean Uber has to go separately? This is Uber, by the way. Uber, say hello to the nice man.
Oh, hi. Nice cloud. I'm sure your Halton monkey will be able to be there just fine.
Excellent. By the way, I love your robes. Very nice. I'm somewhat of a fashionista myself. My tailors could use a little bit more work, but I think I'm pretty happy with the digs I've got, you know?
You can give me a perception awareness if you'd like.
Oh, my goodness.
Or intelligence investigation, whichever you would prefer.
Perception awareness is better. I'm going to take that. And that is a 3 again.
Okay. The robes are of a nice fashion, but they're clearly not maintained well. You can see like little fraying at the end. So clearly, while he is dressed in a nicer modern fashion, he doesn't care much about it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then you begin slowly elevatoring back up.
Yes. And I talk his ear off
Incessantly, but also
everything.
Nonsense. Yes. Okay. Eventually, you reach the top. You all hear Adramalik's constant talking as it draws closer.
The steady stream of consciousness.
Yes, here you are. Yes, you can get off now. Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right.
You're quite welcome. And then he begins heading back down to recover the final person, Tepetilis. So now that he is there, no longer there, out of eyesight, out of earshot, what do you all do?
They know that the person has gone somewhere else, so they're just as capable of chasing Pluton as we would be. So I say we leave it to them for now and let the city recover without either of our presences.
So we just leave? Do we chase after him, or are we? What's our intention?
We will continue on with the plan that we had previously. I.e., if we had killed Pluton, what we would have done. So we will continue on this. Let's leave it at that for now.
I think it might be worthwhile for us to go to Gem. Send them to Randam.
Oh, sure, but we have other things to do in the meantime.
True.
So we will take care of that, and then we can head to either place. But also, isn't Gem on the Blessed Dial?
No.
Cool.
Gem is to the south. It's closer. Randam is to the far west. And with their obvious mode of transportation, going farther is better and puts more distance between us and them.
Very wise idea indeed, should they change the mind of their allegiance.
Also,
their allegiances.
One thing we can't ignore is that Pluton has targeted 4 cities for whatever purpose. And whatever he did here, he accomplished it.
Do we think the skull is what he was after?
Possible, yeah.
Likely, even.
So are there more skulls? Do we know anything about a creature with many heads that is powerful enough that he could be looking to bring it back or something?
I need a library to actually dive into something like that. Otherwise...
Well, could you put your servant on that or whatever?
He also needs a library.
Let's discuss things at a different place.
Oh, yeah, they're coming up, aren't they? Don't see.
I also don't know how well they hear and stuff, which is why it's like...
Fair enough. Well, we'll wait for them. Tell them to go to Randam, and then we're off to Gem.
Okay. Before long, you see the cloud beginning to rise into view. A little slower than, about the same pace as when Mountain was riding it, but, not quite as fast as with y'all.
Go.
Okay. So, I suppose we should all get together and discuss, share information, see what the next steps would be. It seems that this is probably a more pressing issue than merely the city. It seems to be spreading beyond. Yes.
Indeed.
Agreed. There's something large at play here.
Yes.
Yes. The city seems to have quieted for now, so it seems that we have put a stopper on the issues. And if whatever this plan is, goes as deep into the realm as he is, it must be a pretty big plan.
Yes. So,
are we getting your superiors? Or are we having this discussion now?
My superiors,
fellows,
my compatriots. Yes, we can. do you want to have that conversation here with them, or would you rather someplace more comfortable?
If you are comfortable relaying information, I am happy
I
with
would be
that.
much more comfortable if I had a glass of wine and perhaps a chair to recline on. Yes, let's get everyone together and have a nice little cup of tea.
Or if you think that anyone here would cause discomfort, we can also simply give you the information to relay. So I'm sure one of your fellows may have questions.
Yes, I do believe that there are some questions that we would like to ask of you. Obviously, but there is a more pressing issue, so I'm certain arrangements and
we can circle back to your other concerns as long as we're all handling the same concern.
Yes, that is my feeling. I suppose the others we should discuss. However, make sure that we are all on the same page. Yes,
I agree, and we may have information that may lead to your success. And so I would rather make sure, regardless of your decision on the circling back, you have that success or the best chance of success you can.
Very well. Then, shall we? We have a rather nice place that we've been staying. I'm sure.
Don't.
Sure, Davo will be happy to supply you with wine.
Thank you. That is most kind.
And I will enjoy the regeneration of motes as we walk.
Yes.
Okay. He descends from the cloud at that point and begins leading you through the city, unless you...
Before we leave, can Adramalik pull Mountain aside?
In order to use this spear, I need to find his trail. Where was his? Can you point that to me, or no? Is there nothing? It was all just smell based.
He's probably also left by now, so I don't know if it's a fresh enough trail. I think you'll have to wait until we find him again, my friend.
Well, once we get to Jem, I hope he leaves some form of tracks, because otherwise, I'm afraid this will be a very good toothpick and nothing else.
You can always unattune it.
I unattune immediately.
You want to
I hand it back to him.
Your maximum goes back to normal, but you do not automatically regain the motes that were spent. They'll regain at the normal rate.
Of course.
Okay. And then you follow to this meeting.
We indeed do. We follow him right into the trap.
The meeting
to
that
the
we
trap.
Thought we were going to do right away because of a terrible stealth roll by Pluton has been delayed until now. But hey.
We've accomplished nothing.
We got information.
We found the map.
That's true. That's true. We got a map. We got a map, so we know of more side quests.
We found the map, so we know what is our new main quest. And also, we're establishing ourselves as actual allies of at least the people of the realm, which is not bad.
We'll
see
get
what
through the
happens.
conversation first.
Yeah.
So they lead you through the streets of the city back to the nicer section of town, eventually bringing you to a fairly opulent manor within the city. Upon entry, yes, you can see that it is very well furnished, fully staffed. As soon as you enter, there are people that are there to take anything that you would like to unload, to refresh you, immediately offering you beverages of your choice, refreshments. Do any of you partake in any of that?
I partake in all of the vegetarian refreshment options.
And
We
why?
see what Iron Stomach does, and then I'll decide.
Iron Stomach lets you eat more spoiled foods, I believe.
I think it also. I think it has something to do with ingested
Protect from
poisons
poisons?
specifically. Yeah, ingested poisons. I think, but I'm not sure.
It might. And Dirham?
Dirham will eat a piece of bread and have some water.
Bread and water for Dirham. Okay. As your things are being...
I'll eat to be polite.
Okay. As things are being gathered and presented to you, you are shown into a rather large sitting room with nice chairs scattered about. You see, what do you see? You see Sinus Lenawe seated at a nearby table. She is sitting there with a stack of papers in front of her. She's clearly filling out forms or something similar, maybe writing notes, whatever it might be, until you enter the room, at which point she looks up. Can give me your perception socializes if you would like.
As soon as she has acknowledged me, I will give the appropriate greeting for someone of her stature as both whatever she is and the fact that she's a lady and I'm a dude. So 2 rungs above me.
Dirham is more so clocking surroundings, exit points, how many people, armed or otherwise, are around, what any of these individuals of the Immaculate Order have on their persons and whatnot, and watching body language very carefully.
I use my Master of Many Manners just to make sure I'm doing stuff right.
Yay.
And I got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. Okay. And is anybody else
Unless I can stunt it.
Yeah, I tried, and since I have no socialize, which is very fitting, I don't notice anything. But what I do is when I enter the room with Sinisa Lanawe, I will, with my food in hand and my goblet of wine in the other, I'll make my way over to her desk with all the notes and papers, and I will sit on it, perhaps spilling a little bit of wine as I sort of bobble on the desk, and then sort of just like begin eating in front of her.
Don't make it easy to like you.
Mountain, do you consider yourself a frontiersman? Are you more of that type of individual or a city person?
Because I have the survival. It is because I have the survival and stuff. So I'm really just where common folk are. So
well, think about your origin. Think about your
because I was moved into the city and stuff like that so quickly. I'm going to say city because I was taken out of my village and moved into those kinds of circles.
Okay, and you rolled a 6?
I did indeed, unless I could stunt super quickly, but it's for perception.
Yeah. Dirham, you didn't roll to
got it
get
2.
Okay, you got a 2. Great. Mm-hmm. And Adramalik, you got a what?
For Nothing. My social perception, it was a 3. That was it. It was.
Oh, okay. So Mountain, as you see her seeing you all, there is a somewhat genuine smile that comes to her face. However, you can see that there is a layer of hesitation underneath it, a wariness about you all. In addition to her, you can also see, in particularly you, Dirham, because that's what you chose to focus on instead, you can see that there is lounging on a nearby chase an opulently dressed individual in a man in green flowery armor, who's just sitting there in a similar style to Adramalik, picking grapes off of a plate. He has a cup of wine nearby that has obviously been emptied and refilled a few times, and he doesn't pay you much notice as you enter. He gives you the glance and he watches as you cross the room or whatever you do, but he's not staring at you. He's not rising to greet you or anything similar.
Do I see any weapons around that guy?
You do see nearby him. Yes, you see nearby him a rather large lance.
Noted.
And then on the far side of the room, leaning up against the wall, you see Cesis Nechalsi in her. Yes.
Oh shoot, the other one.
Mm-hmm.
The other one from the
quiet one.
Yes, the quiet one, who is just leaning up against the wall and watching you all. As you enter the room, you can see that she stiffens slightly, as if she's readying herself to see what you might do.
Mountain, taking the literal opposite approach of Adramalik, again moves forward with to try and kind of melt through that hesitation. Kind of moves forward with a very, like, I don't want to say showy greeting, but a very like genuine, like, oh, it's good to see you again, and then kind of moves into the appropriate like low bow, and then straightens back up as much as he can. It is good to see you again.
Yes, it's good to see you as well. I'm glad that you are doing well, seemingly.
Doing good, not necessarily doing well.
Yes, did not expect, I'll admit, to see that you were coming here. He shoots a glance at the individuals who brought you here. So I suppose there must be a reason. Yes,
we are. I believe. Can you go sit with that man on the couch and not on this desk here? Could you?
I don't want to bother him. He looks comfortable, and I'm comfortable here. This is a perfectly fine desk.
You don't belong on the desk. Please remove yourself from the desk.
Fine. And he slams the wine glass down on the desk, causing it to slosh and spill some more.
I'm gonna use my dex to try and like cover it.
Okay. Athletics, please.
You got it. I'm actively trying to undo his faux pas. Not for himself, but just to show like we're not
animals.
Yeah, we can totally be reasoned with. I got 4.
Got a 4. Okay. I mean, it's catching wine. It's stopping him from spilling wine. It's not that hard of a task.
My hand's wet, but I'm not the papers aren't.
Yes. Oh, come now. You don't want to stay over there, right? It's far more fun over here, far more comfortable. Please pull up a chair, my friend. Let's have a conversation.
Oh,
the man landing on the chase says to you.
Good to know there's noble company amongst you.
I'm looking to see, does she look exasperated by this guy's tonality? It is their Andromalic. I immediately am just like, okay.
She raises a hand to her forehead as Adramalik walks over to sit with this other gentleman. Yes. My apologies. What was the
reason we are here is we understand that you have a lot of questions for us. We are not here for those questions. We are here to hopefully, and I do say hopefully in a way to be like, it's not to be like a defiant thing, like we're not going to answer your questions. We are here to hopefully move on to a much more grave threat that is a big threat to the people of these outskirts and seemingly to the realm itself. And as you know from our previous meeting, protecting the people of this realm is of our chief concern.
I do not doubt that fact. I truly do not. However, obviously, our calling has very specific goals in mind. And before we can forego our purpose here in light of this other endeavor, we would need some good reasons to do so.
I understand. And if what we give you is not good reasons, then perhaps we can have that conversation.
Well, she wants assurances. Wow. Can you believe this woman? Goodness.
I know, she always wants things to be so prim and proper. Like, sometimes you just need to understand that people need to be people, and you need to really go with what's going on. Look,
you get it. Go with the flow.
Yes. Oh, would you like some grapes, sir?
Oh my goodness, a man after my own heart. Yes, please, thank you.
Yes.
Well, would you like some as well?
Look like I'm dying inside.
Oh, delightful monkey. Yes, I have not seen one of them in so very long.
Introduce yourself, please, to the nice man. Oh, and I'm sorry, what was your name?
Pelips Deva. Yes, pleasure to meet you. And you, what did you say his name was?
His name is Uba. And then Uba does like a little song and dance.
Yeah. Uba, Uba, yeah.
This is the content I came in for.
True.
Oh, delightful. You've taught him a little dance. Would you like to see my animal?
My heart bursts through my chest as I say, oh, yes, please, I would very much like that, yes.
Yes, downstairs in the stables. I'd be happy to show you, take you for a ride if you'd like.
Invincible one. He has Invincible one.
I get up to leave with him. Yeah. Can you tell me his name one more time, just the spelling of it, so I don't...
Peleps. Yes, P-E-L-E-P-S.
Oh, E-P-S, okay.
Yep, and then D-A-V-A.
Okay. New best friend. Got it.
New best friend that you then leave the group to go down.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to kill this guy. Dear, can you bring out the map?
Sure. Pulls out the map, rolls it out on the table.
If you want to aid in any of the discussion, I would obviously appreciate it.
I feel like their compatriots should probably speak their piece before we speak ours.
That's true. Are you all amenable to?
Yes, well, obviously, it was not what we intended on our way to bring them here under such circumstances. We had hoped to gather more information about what their particular abilities might be. However, then we saw them jump down a multiple-story hole into a pit of darkness and begin defacing it. So I believe that whatever abilities they have are clearly substantial and opposed to whatever this dark being is. So while we cannot rule out the possibility that there may be some negative repercussions of their involvement and continued activities, we cannot also necessarily discount them as potential allies for this hunt. And Lenawe gives him a serious look during that entire conversation before giving a slight nod. Yes, I understand, given that situation. I understand. I do believe we will need to discuss more about these questions that we have, but I believe we can table that at least for the moment to discuss what is this larger, I'm sorry, what did you say? This darkness pit?
We can use your word if you'd like, an anathema.
Yes, and
Of darkness.
anathema. The word anathema is very poignant, but does not help necessarily with identifying particularly what is happening here. So yes, the word anathema does indeed seem to apply from this description. However, I would like a little more information to be able to know exactly what it might be.
It is a creature of death in darkness. We've encountered one before and dispatched it. It seems to draw upon a power from a different place. We don't know what that place is, but it seems to be of greater beings than themselves. They seem to serve some sort of greater creatures. I would assume akin to gods of some kind, but stronger than like a river god or something that's capable of empowering someone to incredible speeds and strengths, capable of making themselves invisible. And in this particular case, which is very disconcerting, capable of puppeting bodies. So able to replace people in positions of power, which it had done here before we removed it.
Removed it?
We didn't kill the one here. We just stopped it from inhabiting its host by destroying the host body.
We revealed the ruse of it circumventing the council here.
Indeed.
Well, thank you for that. For sure, it will be a difficult road ahead if one of their leaders has been revealed as a traitor or possessed body, whatever it might be. So
the council will take care of that. I'm certain of that.
Enough of them remain to take care of it.
But this creature still stays at large and needs to be dealt with immediately.
It does.
Before it ends up on the Isles impersonating someone more important.
All right. And I'm sorry, your names were? It's been some time and it's been busy. Yeah, it was Mountain and Malik and Dirham. Very well. Okay. Do you have any further information about what this creature is, who it is?
Oh, right. We'll put that for the button at the end. Anyway.
Nice.
What he's doing is obviously undermining. And not only was he undermining, he would seem to have been actively undermining the piece that we were trying to move forward. It seems that he actually went out and killed one of the barbarian leaders before coming back. They were keen on blaming the city for its assassins, and we talked them down and let them know that that didn't make sense from what we had just seen. They also then moved to blame you, having learned of your presence in the city after your arrival at the council meeting. We also convinced them that that was not the case because it did not make sense. And in meeting you, and I do specifically gesture at Sinalis, Sinalis? That's right.
Linawe?
Yeah, Sinus Linawe.
Sinus. That was my name.
That's the last name, yeah.
Yeah, Sinus Linawe. Her name's Linawe.
But I gesture at Linawe. I could sense that you truly meant to do good for these people. And so convinced them of the same thing, which meant that there could only be a third party. When we tracked down that third party, it was this creature. But we also found that he had dug something up. And we believe that that might be what he is looking to do in other places. It seemed to be a large jawbone that smelled of nothing but death and misery. And I'll give a description of the indent as best I can, though I assume Dirham could probably pitch in better descriptions as far as like his memory and studies go.
The skull, correct?
Oh, was it a whole skull?
It was a skull of some weird lizard creature.
I'm going to say that Mountain just got that wrong because I wasn't there, so Dirham will correct him.
Clarifies.
It was an elongated skull. I believe the estimate was about 15 feet in length.
So yes, that.
A creature of death seeking bones of a large creature which were dug up?
Yes.
Simply buried. How would he have known that they existed there?
As I said, well, one, he could have gotten information from the library. I suppose, but continue with their thought process. I did not mean to interrupt.
No, it's simply strange that that he would have been seeking a random bone buried somewhere.
Oh no, it's not random.
Unless there's some history that connects these places of interest together.
So perhaps, I don't know, maybe the Dragon Queen vanquished a foe and scattered its bones to the winds or something. I am not a studied person.
She looks over to Jabnor.
Yes, Jabnor. Cloaky boy. He's a smart one.
He's their Dirham.
Not quite as effective as Dirham.
It's not their fault. They're only human.
And he shakes his head. I am not familiar with any such legend, at least not of... I mean, there are plenty of stories of wicked foes being rent apart and body parts scattered across creation, but I'm not familiar of any where a skull was hidden in this city, or even this general vicinity.
But as far as him knowing, as I said, we believe that they have patrons, something that calls to them. At least this is what the last one we talked to hinted at, that there was something more powerful behind her. So it is possible that this creature is getting their information directly from them.
If so, that is a very troubling idea. Do you know who this patron might be?
I knew I would be telling you. I don't know where they even get their powers. I just know that the one we talked to seemed to have a master that they worked for. And this creature was not weak enough to warrant need of a master. So any form of a master, my assumption is it had to be something much stronger than itself, and it was serving because it was absolutely necessary.
I see. Yes, that is concerning indeed. Meanwhile, Adramalik and his new best friend, Deva, go down to the stables where Deva has brought with him a jug of wine in addition to the glass that he had. He leads you to the stables where you see a massive, majestic war horse banded in green armor of a flowery decor. Yes, my dear stallion.
What is his name? He's gorgeous. And I say that having seen perhaps the most beautiful horse in the entire world, mind you, but he is phenomenal.
Please, you think that there is another that could possibly match the elegance of my dear Triggerflame?
Triggerflame. Yes.
Okay, taser face.
I mean, come on.
Yes. No, of course not. No, I mean, I just merely meant to imply that I've seen. George, correct me. What is the name of the type of horse that Invincible 2 was? I think we knew that, right?
That it was
you don't know that off the top of your-
god-blooded horse, which is probably not something you would want to share.
No, wasn't there like another name for it? Like my monkey is like a specific monkey, and
yours is a Halton monkey, but that's a different thing. But no.
Okay, never mind. I thought there was like a specific thing. Never mind. Yeah, I'll just say the horse, and I describe Invincible 2 with huge mane of hair, and it was massive. I mean, it was a very big horse, and yours is quite large as well. But
well, size isn't everything,
my friend. I look at him,
and he gives you a knowing smile. And
yeah. Oh God, yep. So, how is it that you came to work with these folk? You are one of the Dragonborn?
Oh yes, one of the chosen here. It is a joy and a pleasure to be working with such stoic and
talented,
single-minded individuals.
Yes, they have their uses, but unfortunately, they
sometimes you need
appreciate the finer things. Yes.
You need to kick back and relax occasionally. You can't just go hunting one monster after another. Occasionally, you need to enjoy the spoils.
Exactly. I mean, otherwise you'll end up so uptight, and I mean that stress is not good for your skin, honestly.
Exactly. I knew I would. I knew from the moment I saw you that you would be a kindred spirit. This guy, I love him. We can jump back to the other guys. Back to the plot spot. Yes, and do you have any leads on who this individual might be?
I look at him and just kind of like...
We have some theories.
Well, would you care to share them?
We could waste time talking circles about the potentials of what we're currently dealing with, but I don't think that's going to stop the current danger that is mounting as we speak. I think that a mounted approach on how to actually deal with this is more relevant than the theories behind who this may or may not be.
Picking up on
a creature, we don't know what we're dealing with.
Picking up on what Dirham said to us, I say I can... Because this thing can change shape and everything, and possess bodies, or I'm sorry, because we know it can possess bodies, I do not know if it can change shapes or what it can look like, but I can give you a description of what it looked like, as this may be useful to you.
Yes, if you can do so.
And I will describe Pluton of the Endless Stream.
Yeah, are we literally just not telling them his name?
I was waiting for Dirham to say, because if Dirham would have given me a nod or would have been like whatever, I was just going to be like, yeah, it was definitely dead Pluton of the Endless Stream, and then we could just ended it there. But
oh my God, the way you're dancing around, like every time,
not dancing
the last
around
question they've asked us 5 times, like point blank, is what is his name? I would appreciate.
We don't know that.
His name.
Like, but also he's not. That's not his. I know that's not his name anymore.
Right,
that's true.
He's not going to respond onto it. So I can give them a description of what he looks like, and realistically, that is kind of the best. If they're like, that seems like Pluton of the Endless Stream, and then I might be like, oh, you got me because I can't lie.
Nice.
So yes, I'll have you give that description once Deva returns, as he's a more skilled artist than I am, and we can probably work together to produce a reasonable sketch of this individual.
Misery loves company. I understand, and I'll just smile.
Gives a withered glance, not withering like this is my life.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. Very well. So, which of these cities do you believe we should be going to?
My guess would be your resources are more capable of traveling the distance, should that be his target, whereas our trio is for the majority on foot or boat. So I would suggest that our party split, making sure that we hit both targets that seem to be the most possible that this creature is hunting for, under the assumption that they're looking for remnants of an elder creature of some sort, seeing as its domain is that of death. It's got something malicious in store concerning these pieces, but allow your troop to head to Randan, and we'll go to Gem.
Randan. Let me see. What do we know of Randan?
All right.
City of artisans. Yes, I could see why he might be able to find something useful if he's seeking to make some working out of these bones. So I suppose we can head there. But of course, if we are to ally our causes like this, then I think we do need to have a discussion about what your capabilities are.
Very well.
Very well. I'm not certain if this is the right place to do so. Perhaps somewhere more simple, more quiet. Yes?
What's the problem here?
Hey, goody.
There are many ears in this place, and I would... and
understood.
If you understand, then I need not go further.
I presume you have a place in mind?
I do. Shall we pick up our
people?
Yes, let's pick up our compatriots. And then we shall be on our way for a very, I think, poignant conversation.
Very well.
Indeed.
And that's where we'll end it. Thank you so much for taking the time to enjoy our show. Come back next week for the next part of our adventure, or join our Patreon for early access to the next episode, as well as a Patreon exclusive campaign of Rippers. Join our wonderful patrons Bubble Dirt and Nova Phoenix in supporting this show. And of course, don't forget to check out our tutorials and video plays on YouTube at The RPG Blender. If you want to stay up to date on our releases, you can join our Discord. Check the description for a link. Don't have Discord? No worries. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at RPG Blender, or subscribe on your podcast app of choice. Music is The Punk Rock Show by My Free Mickey. Copyright 2012, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution License. Thank you again, and remember, there's gaming outside the Forgotten Realms.